Good day. Happy Tuesday. And you're probably like, why is it Tuesday? Who am I kidding? This might be the first time you've ever even heard of us. But it is Tuesday. It is our new day. We are launching on Tuesdays and Thursdays, future projects to come. And we're very excited about it. You know, once football's gone, it's time to modify your schedule. And that's exactly what we did. It is the Tuesday after NBA All-Star Weekend, a weekend that I think we teased with a lot of mocking, a lot of sarcasm, and an almost disdain for most of the events. But I will say this, I humbly say, we were right on about 79% of what we predicted for the All-Star Weekend. The celebrity game was silly, the slam dunk was a bust, but the game itself was entertaining. I will start with, did you guys even watch any of it? Any of it?
0 frames, not 1 second.
What? Paige.
I also watched nothing. But that was on purpose. I took a sports diet this weekend.
Oh, I do recommend those every once in a while.
Yeah. I did art stuff. It was great.
So you missed Alex Toussaint of Peloton bike fame winning the MVP of the celebrity game. And by the way, kind of what I sort of thought was going to happen in my mind, I thought, well, his lung capacity is great, and he was kind of running circles around everyone.
Yeah.
But Myles Garrett stole the show, but that's, he didn't get MVP. So you missed that. All right, that's fine. You missed everything. You missed some of the most awkward moments in NBA All-Star history. We'll start with the game. We'll get the game out of the way since that's the last thing. It's the big pinnacle of the weekend. It was Steph Curry sort of stealing the show in a city that loves to boo him and did so as many times as they were given. He took it personally and then proceeded to drop 700 threes for Team LeBron, which is a bummer because you don't want to root for Team LeBron, but Steph was on that team, and so here we are. Team LeBron won. They're 5-0 in All-Star festivities. The new format, it's not new, but it's new to some of us who maybe didn't watch the last couple All-Star games, was confusing to everyone on the TNT and TBS crews, which made me feel better for not getting it either. But once it was set in place, brought high drama. The game was great. And then we had Saturday night, which was skills competition, three-point competition, dunk competition. We had some very awkward moments. Did you guys watch any of the non-basketball related moments from All-Star Weekend? Specifically, for example, Steph and Aisha pimping out their new show for HBO Max called About Last Night. Did you see this? Gabe, this is right up your alley. Right up your alley.
Well, so let me say, Beadle, I was just trying to be very honest when you asked out of the gate if we watched any of it. I like to think that I curated a more Gabe-friendly experience from All-Star Weekend. So
okay,
I feel like I am aware of everything that matters to me and all the
Fair.
storylines that I am interested in, but I did not turn on my television and watch hours and hours and hours of this.
You Twitter watched?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably plenty.
Actually, that's more than enough.
The Steph and Aisha thing, as a guy who works in the business, I've heard a number of different projects that the two of them are going to do together. And finally one is out there in the world. And I'm not surprised that it got the reaction that it did. I'll leave it there.
It was, Paige, are you familiar with About Last? I mean, I wasn't familiar with it until the weekend, and now I'm sad that I am familiar with it.
Can you tell me more about it? I'm loosely
Sure.
aware of it.
Funny you should ask. Yes. It's a show for HBO Max. It's a sort of an adult couples game show, if you will. It was they had 2 Chainz and his wife come out on Saturday night. Aisha and Steph come out to sort of talk about this. Stephanie Reddy was the MC of this, and she did a fabulous job considering how difficult and flop the whole thing went. But what it is a sort of blindfold couples, how well do you know each other thing, but it's got a little of the innuendo thrown in, a little sexual, if you will. And I, for one, one of the questions on Saturday night was, who makes the weirder noises? And my virgin ears, honestly, well, I was offended because obviously we're talking about bedroom noises.
Think of the kids.
That's what am I going to tell my kids that I don't have and never wanted? That's weird for everybody involved, but it bombed, needless to say. It was very awkward. It did not fit in at all with what was going on. And I thought, wow, the league really loves Steph Curry to even give him this moment to sort of do a project that's not even on a network that they are a part of. And then I thought, when they get divorced, it's going to be weird. It's just so many projects, so many joint. So you got to keep your stuff separate so the divorce is less complicated. This is already going to be complicated. They got kids. They got lots of money. Like, that thing's going to take years. And now we've got 97 projects, including this hit for HBO Max. Like, we don't work with our partners, right, Gabe? We do not work with our partners. Like,
No,
keep it separate.
It's a bad idea to do that. And I like that you just leapt right to when they get divorced. Like, it's
well,
not
I'm
even
a realist.
a question in your mind that's coming. I think I don't quite understand why we as the audience are asked to believe that the people in the outer periphery of the athletes who we like, that the outer periphery people in their lives are inherently interesting. Like, this has nothing to do with Ayesha, but like, I don't have any reason to believe that she's a great talent on TV. Why would she be? She's just a lovely person who married a talented
Like, she
guy.
could be. Don't get me wrong. There are diamonds in the rough all over the place. For all we know, she's a natural.
She could be great.
Paige, you seem to have a theory about Ayesha. Where is it you would like to see her most?
I feel like you're setting me up here. But what I said earlier to you privately, not on this recording, was that I liked her food content. And then I immediately felt sexist. Like, I'm asking her to get back in the kitchen.
Yeah, when you said that, I went,
like it.
Wow, that is not progressive
at
all. No, she does. She has. That was sort of her initial foray. It was the cooking, which, by the way, I quickly launched into books and cooking, like cookware, and she's got a lot going on. I'm not knocking that, but there's something to be said sometimes about like these joint projects. They're a little cringe. Maybe because of the subject matter of this particular one and the way that it was introduced to the world, because I feel very comfortable in saying 90% of the people watching were like myself. Like, I kind of had read maybe that they were doing something. I had no idea what it was never really going to go look for it. But now I know, and it's as cringe as I thought it was going to be. So that was awkward moment number one.
Can I ask you one more question about this awkward moment?
All the questions.
Let's prolong this part. If these were people who were not trying to be like Disney friendly, right? Like, and good for Steph. Like, I think he's been what we would call like a good role model or whatever. Yes. Like, he's very rootable. He's very kid for all that stuff. It's probably not cringeworthy, right? If like Gronk and I'm forgetting his girlfriend.
Camille Kostek.
Yeah. Like, if they did this, you'd be like, all right, yeah, cool. Let me hear about that. It's not off brand. And it's,
that could be a point.
Right. And they wouldn't feel like fake risque. They would just say what the sounds are. Whereas with Steph and Ayesha, they're like trying to keep it PG, and that maybe doesn't work.
So this is my theory on that. Like, Ayesha got in a little bit of hot water. I don't even know how many years ago it is at this point, but she sort of made a shady comment about the style of dress that some women participate in, like a little more on the hoochie side, showing a little more skin, and that, that wasn't necessarily her cup of tea.
Okay.
Cool. Fine. We all have our tastes. What happens, though, when you say something like that is it now comes back to haunt you in anything else you do for the rest of your life. When you paint yourself as like prim, prude, proper, and now you want to be like by the way, nothing they're doing is weird. They're a couple that have been together for a really long time. I'm pretty sure they've had sex, and I'm pretty sure they like to flirt. And that's what they're talking about. And so it's fine. It's just, you're right. You sort of went down one path. We don't let people change their identities very often in this whole world of media. Like, no, you said this 6 years ago. I'm holding you to it. That's what you are. And I don't think she's that. And we've seen her sort of come into her own, and she's sort of embracing like the sexier side of herself and all of that. And he's got the baby face. And so most of us, I still think of him that way. Even when he's talking smack and doing all that, it's still very weird. But yeah, it might be that. Maybe it falls into the TMI category for some people. And I'm sure it will, because they see them that way. That's not even why for me. I just think joint pair projects, I'm such a cynical person to begin with. I just feel, I think of the divorce, and I know you think I'm being funny, but like, I just think of, oh God, this is going to be another thing they're going to have to figure out how to divvy up. Like, what a nightmare. PI, like it's weird. IP, intellectual property, is that how you say it? Yeah. That's what this is. They're going to, PI is Fred Van Vliet.
The PI is what leads to the divorce. The IP.
Right, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Although that was a rumor that was like 2 weeks ago, how they're like in an open marriage. So who knows? Maybe they're into this whole sexifying things up.
Maybe they leaked that rumor so they can start. That's their new shift to brand. Maybe they'll come out with like a line of sex toys or something.
Nice.
Maybe this is like a new thing for them.
I love
that. I'm excited. I'm not excited, actually. There's
I
no
bet
world.
you look a little too excited for when you just said that. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So that's another Curry project.
Well, okay, never mind. There's some like Splash Brothers thing in there. Like there's a lot that could happen. I'm just saying.
You are
I'm
disgusting.
sorry.
You are
I
disgusting.
regret nothing.
I was thinking of alliterations with Curry, and I came up with 4 really quickly, but I'm not going to say any of them because I'm pretty sure we're not allowed. So awkward. We had the slam dunk contest as a whole was awkward in the sense that these 4 kids, like, I'm not doubting their ability, and we've seen them dunk, or at least 2 of them. And it took so many tries. There were so many fails. When you go to the legends table and they just look like bored and almost angry, like I felt bad. It wasn't even like I wanted to laugh at them. I just felt like, oh, this is kind of sad. Dwayne Wade sort of saved it for me because he was just on something. Like, it was hilarious. And he's like, this is garbage. I give this whole thing a 6. And like, they're trying to go back and forth. They want to switch the order. And they weren't wrong, at least on Saturday. The order shouldn't have been ending on slam dunk because it was so anticlimactic. But Kenny Smith fought, I'm not arguing. There have been some great slam dunk contests over the years. It's splashy, it's sexy, it's fun. This was not one of those, unfortunately. They got to come up with new rules. Do we have a fix for the slam dunk contest?
Well, I've heard some very good ideas I could steal from other people.
Yeah, steal them. That's what life is.
So one idea I've heard, I know Nick Wright over at Fox has said this. I don't know how popular it is yet, but like NBA players versus street ball dunkers in some sort of competition where there's real money at stake. And so somebody who really cares about winning a lot of money is going to really put on a show. And some of those guys are way better dunkers anyway. They
have less to lose too. Like, they're going to go out there and do it.
They're going to go for
real.
Yeah. And Beadle, you and I in a previous life worked on a shoot with one of those guys who could literally jump over a car. He jumped over you at one point. That was awesome.
Yep.
Like, those guys would be really cool to watch.
And I am 6 feet tall. A lot of people don't know. So
6'5", actually.
Yeah, 6'5". That's fair. Okay, I like that. I would watch that for sure.
I've heard that idea. Obviously, you got to have fewer attempts, right? What was the 1 of 9 or 1 of 10 at some point? Like,
I honestly, so many that I sort of started paying attention to other things in the room. I was just like people, our attention spans are lower today than they were when the Michael Jordans of the world were doing the slam dunk contest. So now you have to work triple hard to keep our attention. And so 9 tries is like, there's got to be like you get 1 shot, maybe 2, and then you got to try something else kind of a scenario. I don't know if that would work. Speed it up. Maybe different people?
I wish that they would have done the 75th anniversary team dunk contest.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Who are you going to get, though? The Diamond 75 group.
All of them get 1 dunk. 75 dunks.
I mean, some of those guys look like they're, and I'm not even talking about the fresher ones. I'm talking about a little bit down the line.
That's right.
Still look like they can do some work. James Worthy, good Lord. James Worthy looks amazing. Okay. Street ball, 75 guy.
The other one that I liked that actually, that the Athletic posted on Instagram, it's from a guy named Mike Vorkanov. I'm messing that up. He says, get rid of the dunk contest, bring on the dunked on contest. He says, 4 dunkers, 4 shot blockers, have them meet at the rim. Whoever wins goes on to the next round. If it's only 2 dunkers left for the last round, then it becomes a dunk contest to decide. I kind of like that.
That is a simple fix. Now, do the dunked on, do they have to be NBA players? Because they may not want to put themselves in harm's way. Or can you go to the ranks of other wonderful places?
Just some like G League guys?
Yeah, I mean, some guy trying to make a name for himself might really throw himself out there.
But if you're like a premier blocker,
like Jakob Poeltl, I knew you were going to say that. I said it for you, Paige. I got you.
Thanks.
I think
people
would
would be block up for nothing.
People would be up for a Timothy Mozgov.
Yeah,
just has to stand there and get crammed on.
Anderson Varejao. I feel like there's an Anderson Varejao one somewhere.
yeah, guys like that. Just bring them back. They're on the posters already. Maybe bring Mutombo out. Mount Mutombo's up and he probably stops a few of them. Get the finger.
Wait, Dikembe Mutombo is not on the Diamond 75 squad, by the way. Just a side note.
Him and T-Mac.
Bullshit.
Miscarriage
That's
there.
But James Harden's dumbass got to walk down that thing. That is a travesty. And I'm sorry, but if you were to give some of those old legends, and there were many, truth serum, and you may not even have to give them truth serum, to be honest, and say, hey, does James Harden's quitting butt belong anywhere in this circle of love? none of them are going to say yes. None of them. Like, I have less of a problem. Like, Carmelo Anthony, fine. I know that that's like an argument. Some people say yes, some people say no, whatever. But like, James Harden has literally quit, not just on teams more than one, but physically in the middle of a playoff game. We could see it happen. Like, all of us. And you're going to insult everybody up there and put him in that thing? I got kind of mad, guys. I kind of ranted by myself, to myself about that one. It's
Hell
insulting. Yeah. It's insulting to the legends, the actual ones.
Yeah, I've been mystified by the James Harden love fest. It seems to be dying out now, but for a decade here, we were being told how great he was. I've never understood it. It seems like every team he's ever played on got worse, not better.
Thank you.
I don't understand how he gets on a list like this and someone like Mutombo is not, featured. But
or T-Mac.
Yeah, I have no problem with team. Like, yeah, those were Carmelo, not so much, but the James Harden one, it was glaring. Like, when they did the whole thing again last night during the 6-hour halftime show, it was like, what? Because the names on that list are legendary, and they're people who like were tough, and they played in much tougher times, and they never quit, and they stood for things, and this and that. And then James Harden just comes trotting down this line, and I'm like, no, what is this? How does this even fit? Anyways, that's my sort of rant, but not really, because whatever. So dunk contest sucked, but I wanted to end the A block, as we call it in the biz. With, for me, the diamond, the cherry on top of Saturday night NBA All-Star time was a performance, as one should get. DJ Khaled, DJ Khaled, was the headliner, I guess. And before, which is already like, okay. Nothing against him. I think he collaborates on a lot of fun songs, but I'm not hiring him for my party. I'm hiring everybody he brought out for the party.
I also think we're 5 years past him.
That's fair too.
He was like a 2016.
That is fair. And another one, like that's all we remember.
Correct.
So he comes out, and as he's hyping up the crowd, yada, yada, he says something along the lines of, and they told me I would never play at the NBA All-Star Weekend. This is my third time. All right, time the F out, DJ Khaled. I'm going to say I'm willing and secure enough to bet every morsel of anything I own, have made, people I love, I'll bet them all, that no one has ever told anyone in the history of life, you will never perform at the NBA All-Star Weekend. That is not a holy grail of performance spots. Am I wrong? Am I being too harsh?
No, not only that, I would go one step further. I don't think that DJ Khaled was created for anything other than precisely that. That is exactly what all of his songs sound like to me. Like, I can't think of a more perfect venue for DJ Khaled than the NBA All-Star Game on a Saturday night.
Right? But
it's
then
the reverse.
He'll
only play those.
He brought out like Mary J. Blige, Ludacris, Lil Wayne, who I haven't seen in a hot minute. Like there were a lot of names that he brought out as a result of all this. But my goodness, that was probably the hardest I laughed during. Did we lose? Did Paige just quit?
Paige was like, I can't take this DJ Khaled slander, and she disappeared. Your video is gone, Paige. Your face gets given away.
We can hear you though, and that's the most important part.
That's all you need.
Yeah. So that to me, that was I know it was in the wrong order, but it was my favorite part of the All-Star Weekend because I knew Twitter was a beautiful place this weekend. It was one of those rare occasions where everybody was sort of on the same page, and it was a lovely kumbaya place to live. But I knew I wasn't crazy because as soon as I said anything about that, it was everyone caught it because it was the most specific, bizarre, me against the world moment I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'll never hear anything like it again. It's like, they said I would never perform at the Kendall County Fairgrounds, but here I am. And by the way, that's a Texas joke, and only 7 people are going to get that. You're welcome, Texas.
We need goals. We all need goals.
DJ Khaled, you're the best. You're a legend.
When Bryce Young was like played the same card about like the Heisman and the national championship at Alabama, we were like, you're a 5-star recruit, bro. Like, you went to a football factory, you play at the #1 school in the country. Like, who is doubting you? There's not a single person.
No one said this. And it's my 3rd time. Okay, let's leave it at that. I need to clear the tears of laughter that I once again have accumulated at the expense of DJ Khaled, and we'll come back for a what else did I miss, which apparently everything else, because all I saw was NBA. Peace. It's winter, which means basketball is in full swing, and so for many of us, there's no better way to enjoy the games than by having some skin in them, which is why BetMGM remains the exclusive betting partner of The Athletic. As a fan of The Athletic, you can bet $10 to win $150 plus a free 3-month subscription or extension to your subscription with The Athletic when you bet with BetMGM using our promo code. Just sign up at BetMGM.com, use the promo code TheAthleticPod at checkout, and take advantage of this special offer from the king of sportsbooks. That's bet $10 to win $150 plus 3 months free from The Athletic at BetMGM.com. Use the promo code TheAthleticPod at checkout. New customer offer. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions.
21 years of age or older to wager. Arizona, Colorado, Washington, D.C., Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia only. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado, Washington, D.C., Nevada, Wyoming, and Virginia, 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan, 1-800-GAMBLER in Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Call or text the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789 in Tennessee or call 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana.
We are back. NBA All-Star Weekend has come. It has gone. We are now on the quote-unquote second half of NBA, but really we're past that. You know the math. We'll do that. But there's other things that did happen, according to you guys. So let's go. What else did I miss?
That's right.
Who's going first here, Paige?
Gabe, go ahead. Why don't you start?
Ooh.
Go ahead, Gabe. All right, listen. This one, I don't even know how I feel about this story. I have no idea how you feel about this story.
Those are
Beadle.
the
You
best
could go-
stories.
I truly couldn't predict your take on this. So here goes. Juwan Howard had this post-game altercation with the coaches of Wisconsin. It's a bit of a confusing situation, but basically they're getting blown out and they're still pressing. And then Wisconsin's coach calls a pointless timeout. And Juwan basically goes up to him and says, "I'm not going to forget that." A few seconds later, Juwan is like, I would say, mushing one of the other coaches. He definitely throws what looks like a punch.
Like an open hand mush?
It's an open hand.
Not a closed
Okay.
fist, an open hand,
Yeah.
but definitely like striking at the guy, makes contact. Very ugly scene. A bit of a like brawl breaks out. Juwan is out of control. Not great for Juwan Howard. So I guess the question is, are you in team like fire him immediately? I don't care what the explanation is, or let's hear him out and then punish him a little bit.
Yeah. How many people did you want another punch? Jokes. Is that like we're allowed to do that? Because that's all I got. No, I'm mellowing out in my old age, I think, because probably there was a time where I'd be like, yo, you can't hit anybody. Like, that's an immediate firing, yada, yada, yada. And for some reason, and maybe it's a Juwan Howard specific sentiment. Like, I like Juwan Howard. I don't know anyone that really doesn't like Juwan Howard. And I'd hate for him to just lose his job. But, maybe you suspend him for the rest of this season. Like, the problem is, it wasn't like an initial take, right? It was like he had a good 2 minutes in the middle of this melee to sort of have his energy come down a bit, but it seemed to get way more amped up. More people started joining the circle, and then he did it. So it was like he couldn't control the anger, and that's going to be the thing they point to, because as a leader of young men at a enormous program, it's not a good look. They're gonna have to punish him. It has to be severe. Does he need to be fired? For some reason I'm saying no, which feels weird for me, but it's what I feel. So yeah, you guys think so? No, fired or long ass suspension?
Not fired, suspension for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Also,
we talked about this earlier, but like, back to the theme, men can't control their emotions.
That's amen, sister.
Whoa,
Y'all are just hysterical. Hysterical beings.
hold on.
My goodness, take a pill.
Not all men. I mean, we're asking a guy who was a player not that long ago,
Right.
to turn that part of his brain off. Also, it should be noted, I'm not sure I want to be like team defend Juwan, but I want to make the devil's advocate argument. The other coach put his hands on him first. He didn't swing at him. He didn't try to punch him or anything.
Right, he
but
sort of did the...
He touched him, and Juwan said, "Don't effing touch me." And
which is fair.
He gave him a few chances to like cut it out, man, change your behavior, and that dude didn't. Like, he kept escalating. There also seems like other videos we've seen from Wisconsin, there's a lot of like chirpy people on the Wisconsin sideline who didn't let this calm down. I saw somebody doing the suck it chop up into the stand.
I love the suck it chop.
Yeah.
Let's bring that
Remember
back.
when I did that to LAPD and they wrote me a ticket for jaywalking? That was It's one of my favorite.
Wait, what?
And then this was years ago when Sports Nation kind of was sort of new and people were watching it. And it was like, we went to LA for the ESPYs and we were crossing right in front of like LA Live area. And we jaywalked just to get across the street. There were no cars, yada, 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 and we did it. And the cops like shined their flashlight, blah, 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 and I went, suck it, which not anti-cop, don't freaking at me. More just like, yeah, it's jaywalking. So they immediately like, come here. We had to go there. They wrote me a ticket, and while this concert was letting out, everybody was walking by like, oh, we like Sports Nation, da da da. Write me a ticket, and then as he hands me the ticket, he goes, we're all really big fans of the show. And I was like, oh man, that sucks for me.
Oh my God.
But it's my best suck it I've ever done. Anyways, did not mean to go off of it.
That was a wonderful little tangent.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's what suck it gets you.
Also, now no one can like play gotcha and say they found that, Beadle. You just told us about it.
There are going to be very few things you can gotcha me with because I haven't done anything that's that bad. I don't think. Oh, great. Now there's going to be a video of me like killing animals for no reason or whatever.
If you have a video of this, please send it in there.
Yeah, send it
Text
to me
it
too,
to our phone number.
Sheesh. Yeah. So we two not fireds and a maybe. What are we?
Am I the maybe? I guess I'm a maybe.
Yeah, you're the maybe.
I just don't. I don't feel like I have all the information. I will say, in the other side of the argument, it's not a great look for Juwan that a similar incident happened against Maryland earlier this season, where he had to be restrained by his team and his coaches. He was obviously like way too fired up at someone on the Maryland side, was like being aggressive and heading in their direction. He didn't hit anyone, but like it seems like he's having a little bit of trouble controlling his temper.
That's going to be the problem.
Which from a player, you get a couple chances, I guess, but from a coach, we're all saying that's different. So
right, and a coach at a pro like if he was at some school in the middle of nowhere, and we're like, maybe get. This is a huge program. This is his program. Like this is a big deal.
Also,
I think if they fire him, it's in optics. Yeah. Yes. Juwan Howard, for God's sakes. All right.
Come on, Juwan.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see. I mean, I'm sure by the time we even post this, they could have come up with a decision, but it may take a few days because it's kind of a big one.
They don't want to screw this up.
No, you can't screw this up because if you fire him, that's it.
I don't think you fire him. Okay, next thing. So I don't know if you have been following this story at all. This is still unfolding as we're recording this, but there are rumors circulating that there are a contingency of agents and NFL prospects that are going to potentially boycott the combine. The underwear Olympics. So the NFL basically came out with sent an email out that laid out some rules, whereas the players would not be able to have contact with their agents and their personal like nutritionists and trainers and that type of thing, which is like a big part of combine. So they don't want to do that. It would be about half of the invitees, so pretty big numbers. But I think the hope maybe is that the NFL takes it down a notch.
Is this COVID related?
Yes,
they want it's a bubble.
It's a bubble.
At the combine.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
It's stupid. By the way, I when I hear combine, it's Pavlovian for me. I think Colin Cowherd because I remember how excited he would get every year about the combine. And I personally, I've never liked the combine. Just sort of what it is makes me feel uncomfortable. It's just an odd visual every year, and I just getting excited about it doesn't feel right. That being said, I don't give a shit about the combine. Did I say that? I think I've already said that. If they don't come, they don't come. But like by this time in this. We've already seen you play an entire season of football. Mm-hmm. There's a phone and a camera in this thing where you can put anything you want for the world to see on there. It just seems like an antiquated, old, traditional part of NFL draft time that I don't think is necessary anymore. I think there are many other. Plus, you can have your own day with any team ever. Right. So it's like, what is the combine other than this bizarre visual spectacle with grown-ass men in underwear? Like, who's that for? Like, ask yourself, who is that for?
It's for TV. That's all it is. It's a free event. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I ain't watching, so I'm good. I hope no one shows up. Chaos.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's like they keep having the rumors that they're going to start moving it city to city, like they do the Pro Bowl and Super Bowl, and make it like a fan thing.
I could have underwear dudes in my city. Yeah, it's
Hell
called
yeah.
Chippendales. I already went. Thank you. Booyah. No, it's weird and men like. It's gross. Don't get me started. I'm just going to say something I'm in trouble for. Next.
Okay. I'll take us to the next one. Boy, we got a few serious ones for you. I
know, guys.
But this.
I just told you about DJ Khaled.
We're doing journalism.
Here comes.
Man.
So
Do that
Brian
for a
Flores, we spent a lot of time talking and thinking about him the last few weeks. He was hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Coach Mike Tomlin, the only tenured black coach in the league after last season, hired him. And that seems like something. It's kind of crazy. He's like an assistant linebackers coach, like not a big job, but he has a job. And there was just a week or two ago, we were wondering if this guy was going to get blackballed or, kicked out of the league essentially for basically being a whistleblower. So I'm just curious for your reaction. No cute question here. Just curious what you think of the story.
Well, okay. So it's I wish it was laughable, but it's pathetic, quite frankly. So this guy was good enough to turn around a team. Players liked him. He got fired. The whole world went, what? Then he sues, right? So from his perspective, I do think good. He is currently employed by the very league that he is, suing actively. That might be a bit of a circus as it sort of starts to roll into whatever case comes out of this, if a case comes out of this. But it's just... Because I very much, when in my gut and heart, think he would have been blackballed had not been given this opportunity. And I say given very uncomfortably. He earned the right to be a coach in the NFL, and he finds himself in what is probably just an all too often situation for a lot of guys. So yeah, good for the Steelers. And Roethlisberger's gone now, so I can technically root for the Steelers if I want to.
Yep.
And so yeah, it's a bummer. But I'll be curious how this plays out as things heat up legally. Like, can he still be coaching? Is it going to be too much heat? I don't know. I have no idea what to expect from this, but NFL, man, not a good look. Not a good look at all. But they know that. They're used to it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem great that the only tenured black coach and the team owned by a guy named Rooney, same Rooney, they have to swoop in and give a guy a job that he's completely overqualified for.
Yes.
There's no reason this should be the job that he has right now. It's not even a top level coordinator position at a good.
It's got
team.
6 words to it. 6-word jobs in the NFL are not the high jobs.
No,
you need head coach or defensive coordinator. Those are it's 2 words. 2 words is the big one. That's it. It's a bummer, but
it feels icky to us.
I don't like it.
So we'll
these are serious. Ew,
okay, take us to Silly Town now,
idiots.
Paige. We've got some dumb ones.
Silly Town. Okay. Don't know if you saw this. It was making the rounds on social media, but in the 75th anniversary team, they're all hanging out in the back or whatever, and Jordan calls out Magic and asks him to put his shoes on, and they'll go one-on-one. And Magic is laughing hysterically. But there is a moment on Michael Jordan's face where you're like, he's not joking. The man has never made a joke in his life.
I would pay money for that, and I think a lot of people would. We'd go to charity obs. The thing about Michael Jordan this weekend, so you guys didn't watch, but there were so many, between photographs and videos and montages and interviews and da-da-da-da, there were a million things, and all these guys were in Cleveland for, pretty much all of it, right? And there was no Michael Jordan. And I think people thought, oh, there's no Michael Jordan, da-da-da. And it turns out he was at Daytona over the weekend. This dude... The last one, he flew in for the halftime of last night's game, which is already perfect. Was the last one announced as he strolled up right off the PJ, I'm sure, in Cleveland. The last one announced, which is I'm going to piss on your territory moment, and I loved it. And basically made his way to the middle of the thing as if it was is in honor of him. I love Michael Jordan so much. And you can see what a alpha dog he is in a room full of alphas, because even when you see these little videos, I don't care what generation of player we're talking about, there's this sort of reverence that everyone has. And I just, again, I've never had this argument of who the greatest of all time is, because there's not one to be had, but last night was perfection. I even got out of my couch. I wasn't expecting to see Michael Jordan because he hasn't been there all weekend. And I was like, oh, Michael Jordan! Like a child. So yeah, I still got it. And I would pay whatever amount of money they would charge for us to watch Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan one-on-one. I would pay anything to watch Michael Jordan, anybody one-on-one at this point, because I feel like still got it. Still got it, baby.
I think the one-on-one game I'd most want to see with Michael Jordan, a lot of people would say LeBron, obviously. Not for me.
Not me.
Isaiah Thomas.
Wow.
Because they legit hate each other. Magic gave up trying to be Jordan's rival in that right around the finals where they played each other in late 80s. he was just like, it's not worth it. Like, I got to be on Team Jordan. This is the next 30 years of my life. I need to be aligned with this guy. Isaiah was like, absolutely not. This guy can F himself. And I will never give an inch. Yeah. So I wonder, like, in that rivalry, you kind of have to respect both, because that's your level petty.
That's fun.
Well, I think they're both very on-brand reactions to a situation. Like, because Magic is the guy that everyone loves, like, walks in a room, lights it up, party. And Isaiah's more my brand of, like, I hate you now, I hate you tomorrow, and I will hate you on my deathbed. Period.
Will always hate you.
I will always hate you. Oh, you need help? Don't care. I hate you. Like, that's it. And so, yeah, you're right. I respect both, but I lean more towards Isaiah. That's not healthy. I'm working on it, obviously. I'm more in the gray. But anyways, MJ rules next.
Let me ask you this. Real quick on the NBA. So do you think it was weird, because we didn't cover this with Steph, do you think it in the LeBron sort of coronation in Cleveland, and we've had a dozen of these. Sorry, I'm going to have to talk LeBron. Do you think it's weird that Michael Jordan plays such a big role? Do you think it's weird that Steph Curry puts up 30 shots and gets to be the MVP? Like, don't you think like there was a few people, the only people who could overshadow LeBron kind of did, and isn't that sort of strange?
Strange meaning awesome, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they booed Steph every time they showed him, and like, I don't care how baby-faced a person is, that he hates it. And shout out Draymond Green, because Steph tried to be like, oh, Cleveland's great, and Draymond's like, don't lie, Cleveland's like. Draymond just kept it real. The MJ thing, MJ's going to overshadow everything always. And look, LeBron technically got the game-winning shot.
Yeah.
He also had a bunch of clunkers, so no one's beating a dude who shoots lights out threes. Like, that's historic, and it's silly, and it's what people want to see. Yeah. But more importantly, LeBron did his fair share of trying to make everything about himself. So it's like, hey, if it was someone else who just humbly sort of was like returning to the place from which they came, no. They did a video about how he's talking about he's the greatest of all time, could play all 5 positions, Oh, I'm not ruling out that I might return to Cleveland one day. Nobody asked. Nobody wants to. No, Cleveland's doing fine. I like Jared Allen. He's good. And also, I don't want to see you play with your child. Like, I'm so freaking over that storyline. I could not possibly give fewer shits about whether or not LeBron James plays with Bronny. Okay? I do not care. It's a weird kind of routine anyways. So that being said, for a man who always tries to make it about himself, I'm happy it wasn't always about him. Because if I see one more, Cleveland, this is for you, I will run myself into a mountain, period. That's it. I will find a mountain.
Can we just clip that audio? That's all I need.
Where's the nearest mountain? I don't know. Anyways, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Next question.
What was that question?
LeBron did not try to make this moment about him, but Ray Allen did. So Ray Allen goes over to LeBron to dap him up, and obviously ignores Kevin Garnett and your boy Paul Pierce. That drama is still going on, apparently. What was your reaction to that?
There's a shot of Paul looking at KG, almost like the little brother looking at the big brother, like, what do we do here? Yeah. And Kevin Garnett's face is just like, I hate him still. Again, that level of petty, that level of not forgetting something is right up my alley. It's everything that's right with being a human being. Like, animals don't remember things like that. Oh, maybe dogs. But it's a beautiful thing. And it was, look, I'm not a Ray Allen fan either for my own Spurs-related reasons. But it's just fun to watch a trio that did so much together, like, have this hatred. And I'm also going to always be team Paul Pierce and whatever that means. And if that means team KG, I'm team KG. Always.
All right.
Until otherwise.
Well, LeBron wasn't trying to be the center of that one, but he ended up in it.
Didn't have time to figure that out, but yeah.
No. This last couple, there's one in here that I'm hoping Paige has to set up.
Oh, God.
I'm happy to.
I don't know how many more of these we should get to, but go ahead, Paige.
Oh yeah, pick some good ones. Because we have a few, right? Pick like 2 good ones or 3 good ones.
Well, no, Gabe, you.
I'll do the one that you probably shouldn't set up. You do the one that's really confusing.
That's a good call. That's always a.
Okay.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh no. Well, all right, fine. Here goes. One more dumb one before maybe a serious one.
I love dumb.
So in the Olympics, the men's 500-kilometer cross-country ski was shortened to 30 kilometers because it was freezing effing cold. Very windy. So Finland's, sorry, sir, I'm going to screw up your name, Remy Lindholm.
Sounds perfect.
Actually needed a heat pack on his man parts to thaw out a frozen penis.
I had a nickel.
Which is crazy, obviously, for me to say that this man's penis froze while him in 28th place. So it obviously impacted his performance. But here's the weirdest part. He admitted this is the second time it's happened.
To him.
Yes.
This is his second frozen penis incident.
Second time his penis froze in this sport that he competes in.
You're telling me this man's penis has been frozen twice
2 times.
in his life. And yet he continues to do this sport.
Keeps on going.
There it is.
That,
there it is. Yep.
Learn nothing
I
from
don't
the
have a
first
penis,
frozen penis.
but- What does
Who among
that
us?
feel like? Because isn't it not the frozen part? It's when it starts to slowly thaw. Like, and I don't know about the penis part, but like any frozen part, it's the thawing that starts to burn, right? Like there's like very fine line between freezing and burning as far as sensation goes.
Yeah,
Like,
he said as much. Apparently, the thawing out part of the frozen penis was far more uncomfortable than the penis freezing itself. I've never had a frozen penis. I can only tell you what
I can only imagine.
if getting icy hot on that area
Ooh.
feels anything like this, then this would be excruciating.
And if you watch the movie Lucas of 80s fame, you'd know that that doesn't feel good. And that people are like, no, you're old. I know. Here's the thing. If my penis, and let's just say I had one, froze last year, right?
Right.
In a sport that I have devoted my life to and am working towards the Olympics for.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm concentrating on for the next 365 days until I do this again is making damn sure that we figure out a way, whether it's an invention, a triple layer situation, some sort of something, an ointment perhaps, so that my penis does not freeze a second time doing the exact same. Because now it's a you problem. Fool me once. Am I right, guys? But like, this is silly. And who's his partner in life? I have questions for that person. Because that's funny. I've heard some excuses of why you need some attention. This might be the best.
Yeah, I do feel like after this, he's got to go back into his trainers or whoever and be like, so guys, I was with you. Like, just gut it out. But I'm really starting to think it's time we reimagine what I wear out there. Because he came in 28th. It's not like he obviously did not perform well. They don't have to care about
like if
his
you would have
penis.
won.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's an interesting man. We should get him on the show. See what we can do. Paige, get on the phone with Finland. See what's up.
I'll get right on that. I'd love to have this man on. I have so many questions for him.
I have 1,000. I probably have more questions for him than anyone in the world. Anyone.
Just imagine my delight when I came across this headline, though. And
Yeah,
I
it's
knew
got
that
everything you love.
You
disgusting pervert. Okay. Next. What else?
Okay. Wait, Gabe, which one do you want me to do?
I don't know how you're supposed to follow that with Saudi Arabian news, but you can go there.
God.
That's a tough one. It's a tough segui.
Let's skip it. Let's just say that Phil Mickelson said a crazy quote. Look it up if you want. We'll have opinions on that one day.
There has never been another quote that has zigged and zagged in that way.
This quote has everything. It's got pros, cons. You're thinking, I'm rooting for you. I'm not. Just, read it. Because you don't think, you think you know where he's going with it, and he doesn't. Phil Mickelson got us on that one. But it's also stupid. What else? Yeah, let's end on something funny.
I loved this one. I mean, I feel awful for this person, but a defender on the Football Ferns, which is New Zealand's national team, women's soccer, and the She Believes Cup, pulled off an incredibly rare feat, a hat trick of own goals, which is just so brutal.
How is that possible?
Like, one hit off of her back, I think. The whole thing is bad. It's really bad.
One, bad. Two,
and then she got subbed out at halftime.
This was in one half?
Yes, just the first half.
God.
I know.
There are countries where you don't live to see tomorrow. You do something like that on a soccer field.
Oh, that got dark.
That's like a crime. Yeah, no, it is dark. Soccer's a dark sport. I feel bad. We should send her like an edible arrangements or something.
Or an edible. Let's just send her an edible.
Let's just send her a basket of edibles. Good call, Gabe.
Pop a couple of those and get back out there. You can't get any worse.
That is... I mean, it's history, I'm sure. You're going to own that one for a while. It's better to be known for something than nothing. Am I right, guys?
I guess.
I
I'm
don't
sure.
think
better
so
than
at all.
better than
Sure.
freezing your penis off, I suppose.
Thank you. But way better than Remy Lindholm.
Have you heard about Hank the Tank, a 500-pound bear in Lake Tahoe?
Hell yeah.
He broke into
I'm in. What did he do? I vote for him.
28 homes, you suckers.
Hell
Hank the
yeah.
Tank took you all. And now
Justice
people
for
are
Hank.
pissed. Yeah, people are pissed at Hank the Tank. I say get better locks. This bear has
Right?
earned the right to eat your food.
Wait, is he legit breaking into the homes themselves or
Yes.
just like garbage cans?
No. Straight up homes.
Okay. Well, then A, humans. I'd like to think we've outsmarted bears, you jackasses. If you can't figure out how to keep a bear out 28 separate times, that's on you, firstly. Secondly, this is not a crime. I don't see anywhere in the world where Hank the Tank's not allowed to do this. I don't think these people are locking their doors. There's no way this dude has picked locks 28 times.
Sorry,
Is he
it's a
breaking
crime
windows?
to like pizza
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, I'm never gonna root against a bear. I'm not. Even if it's a bear eating a man, I'm still gonna root for the bear. So, that being said, Hank the Tank, and also, who's gonna tell Hank he can't do that anymore?
Yeah, good luck.
Are they gonna kill
Well,
him? They're not
maybe the wildlife people.
Oh no.
That's where I went on a rabbit hole on the story because
They
I
better
was
not.
obsessed with it.
If they
And-
Harambe Hank the Tank, we go to Tahoe.
Well, okay. So what's interesting is the residents of this area, specifically, and I think South Lake Tahoe, they want Hank the Tank to live, and so that's actually what's happening. My favorite is the kicker of this New York Times story ends with this woman saying, "Why should this big dummy have to die?"
Oh, by the way, again, not a dummy. He's
Wow.
Yeah,
smarter
well,
than
the
28 families.
That's right. 28
At
homes
least.
since July.
Also,
I think
hire him. Hire Hank the Tank to be a safety expert so you people can figure out how to better fortify your homes against, I don't know, actual humans with opposable thumbs. Because if
Yeah.
a bear is getting in your house that easily, I'd hate to think what I could do. I really
he's
hate to think
hungry.
about it.
He's 500 pounds though, which I look again rabbit hole. The average
away.
bear is like 200 to 300.
Oh, look
So
at
he is
him. He's living his
a
best
tank.
life. Let's get
He's
shirts made.
thriving.
I love him. I love Hank the Tank. I'm gonna probably put him as my avatar. Let me get on that right now. It's
Yeah,
on my
why
list of things
why
to
are we
Respect.
calling him a dummy? It's the guy
Thank
from
you.
Finland froze his penis off to us.
Twice.
A bear's just
Twice.
hungry.
Oh my God. There was a lot that happened this week. We might not be able to do another podcast for like 3 weeks. That's too much stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's gigantic.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I love him so effing much.
I'm obsessed.
Oh, I'm sorry. And this is since July 28
Yes.
homes?
Yes.
Good God almighty. All right, just look up Hank the Tank, ladies and gents. You will fall in love like I just did at first sight. Quick break, wrapping things up when we get back. Welcome back. We're going to wrap things up. Tuesday edition. We're now on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it looks like somebody called the phone number. Is that right?
Yes, we have a voicemail, Pat from Chicago. Once again, our phone number is 631-397-0403. You can
Nice.
text or call, or those are
Or
your
whatever.
options.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Live your life. But here's what he had to say. Hey, Beadle and team, this is Pat from Chicago. First of all, sorry, it's cutting off on my screen.
Paige,
Sorry.
Paige,
Yeah.
you had
First
one
time.
job here.
you're the Remy Lindholm of this whole operation.
Pat from Chicago, first of all, love the show and thank you for coming at Grace and Alan's life. R.I.P.
Not a problem.
Secondly, my question is coming courtesy of a breaking news update from Matthew Berry that Beadle likes wrestling, which I did not know.
Okay.
He says, who is your favorite wrestler and which wrestling promotion is your favorite right now? Thanks.
Whew, okay, so that's a tough one because my wrestling fandom comes and goes in spurts, starting when I was in my late teens and off and on since then. I recently sort of chimed back in, kind of looking to see, but there's also a brand new AEW. Like there's now more than just WWE, which is crazy because it's all pretty entertaining. That being said, my favorite wrestler growing up, or at least from that era, is Stone Cold Steve Austin for all of the obvious reasons. Anti-authority, beer. If you could make that wine, he'd be perfect. I totally get it though. Beer's a lot more portable. And plus you don't want to break a wine bottle on your head. But yeah, I would say Stone Cold. Right now, I think when I've tuned in and seen some things, when I left fandom a few years ago, Daisuke Nakamura was like sort of coming up and had the best entrance music, whatever. And I watched the other night and now he's just very much got a stronghold in there and he's in it. I also love what AEW is doing on the other side. CM Punk's over there. what's his? I always forget because they've all changed their names to go to the other side. So their real names are now being used, which is very weird. But yeah, I'm off and on. So I would say Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'll get back to you on what my favorite promotion is at the moment.
I'm a Punk guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I
He's
was
just
a big fan.
Total badass. Just says whatever the hell he pleases.
Anti-authority.
It was never an act. It was like
It's a running theme.
Even Steve was like, all right, so like I'll be the guy who hates McMahon and like, okay, no problem. I'll be opposite Rock. This will make us all famous. I get it.
Yeah.
Punk was just like, I don't care what you do. I'm just this.
True. And he left, and he stayed away for like years doing nothing. And I know Brock Lesnar's another sort of larger than life character that. By the way, I don't know if you've seen him lately, Gabe. Completely different aesthetic than like when we had him on Sports Nation 1,000 years ago.
Or Brock?
No, Lesnar. Lesnar's got like this sort of jeans. Flannel vibe going, and for some reason it's even more terrifying. Oh, facial hair, like it's a whole thing. Yeah, so Team Lesnar at the moment for now, I guess.
Viewing
All right.
assignment for your listeners, Beadle. Go Google Beadle, Lesnar, Cowherd. Find a Sports Nation clip from like 10 years ago when Beadle and I played a trick on Colin, and Brock Lesnar actually double diced us. We asked Brock Lesnar to screw with Colin Cowherd.
Oof.
He told us he wasn't going to, and then he did anyway, and we thought he like we didn't know that he was like sane, so we thought he was actually going to murder Colin Cowherd live on the air, and it would have been
well better than us thinking that. Colin thought he was too.
Yeah.
If you want to see a man poop his pants on television, that's the video for you. Go check it out. So you got Remy Lindholm, Hank the Tank, Colin Cowherd, Brock Lesnar. These are your homework assignments. Go look all of it up, and we'll be back Thursday. Yay, us.